Hello, sweet friends. It's Tuesday, and I have a layout for you today that I think has a really fun vibe to it. I really enjoyed doing this one, and of course, it is a picture of Bab being silly, and a bunch of my little strips and bits and branding strips, and just wanted to get some of those used up that I had, and I kind of want to do something like this again really soon. So you may see another layout with this type of just little bits and bobs. So here I took this background paper. It is the Here and Now Echo Park by Lori Whitlock. I don't know if you remember that line, but it's just a really pretty sunny yellow, kind of a triangle inside a triangle design, and I use that for my background. And then the Hazelwood collection by One Canoe 2 is where I got the arrow paper from, and I just put the arrow paper as a border on the top and on the bottom, and then I'm taking all these little branding strips and little bits from my stash, and I'm going to glue those down in a type of crosshatch pattern. Um, I just think it's a fun thing to do. I noticed some people lately had done like weaving, and it was kind of ironic. I guess things trend as they trend, but I totally was like thinking it would be so fun to do like a little crosshatch and tic-tac-toe type background, and then I started seeing people doing some weaving, and I was like, well, I guess we're all on the same page in this crazy scrapbook world together. So at least I know I'm not too far behind the times. I've been super busy with work, and Alan is one of those things that keeps me busy. My daughter is about to graduate college, and she is still at home, but yay, we get close to graduation. She is graduating May 18th, and I am so excited. So we're going to have a party for her. But I try not to get too far out of the loop when it comes to scrapbooking. So, kind of my addiction. Yeah, so I just used some more scraps from my stash, which I normally do to layer, because why cut up a whole sheet when you can just use. I've got this big box full of scraps. I'll have to do another scrapbook tour of my scrapbook room and show you that. And then thank goodness Bab came into my life, because I really don't know what to do with boy colors, because I have two girls, and even my dogs are girls, and everything in my world is, pinks and yellows and flowers, and I even put that on his layouts. But I'm trying to also use my masculine products. So it's like, oh, finally I can use a gray label, because when would I ever have anything on that's gray in a picture with me and my girls, and this gray scrapbook paper that's a scrap. And so it's nice to have a man in my life where I can utilize some of my stash. And I really do like that Don't Care that I cut out. I fussy cut that from that collection. Gosh, what was it called? It was by Simple Stories, and I want to say it was called. Um, I don't know. It's a fairly recent one, but you've seen me use it in other videos, and I think it's a fantastic. It's a very sarcastic and very teenagerish. And if you knew Alan on occasion, he has those tendencies. So he really doesn't care sometimes. So I thought that was very appropriate. And I didn't take the greatest notes on my little cheat sheet here, so I apologize that I can't remember who made those. But if I come across it, I will put that in the description bar. Also used just a couple of Maggie Holmes label stickers and October Afternoon label stickers, and then this chipboard, and also this cork came from Freckled Fawn. So I've been trying to use that. I'm really having trouble getting glue out of this pen, and at the time I was out of glue, and so I've fixed that problem. But you'll see me struggle here. I'm like, okay, let's try this glue and let's try that glue, and so I finally figured it out. But I know it's hard to see all the little writing on here. Under the word laugh, that Maggie Holmes square says, "This makes me happy." And up in the left-hand corner, I had a speech bubble. Well, no, I don't have the speech bubble yet. I'm adding the label that says "kicked back." And he was just kind of chilling in my scrapbook room that night. He likes to play video games or listen to rap music while I scrap. And we call it scrapping and trapping. And we do that a lot. Anytime we want a little downtime, we are scrapping and trapping. So I end up putting a little bit of my cotton thread through that label. I think that is adorbs. I just had that in my little extra scrap bowl, and also the little flag that is underneath it. So I don't know where those came from. I do end up putting a camera that is fussy cut out of a really old, I want to say it's Dear Lizzie paper, and I'm adding that just to the left of that picture there. And I've probably had a million of those that I've used. What else? I don't end up using that. I don't think it's very fitting. It just looks a little feminine to me, but I do end up pulling this foam thicker, and it just says "ha ha" because he's making his silly faces. He's a big old nerd, and he likes to be nerdy. So, oh, what are you gonna do? You got to enjoy the fun times. Also, that star came in that same thicker set. And then this little circle that I add is "You're one tough cookie," because doesn't he look really mean and tough there? Yeah. And the speech bubble behind it is kind of gray with a grid, and I'll end up stamping that with my Heidi Swap roller date stamp. And this little plastic camera clip is Freckled Fawn, and I'll end up having to glue that down. I just use my finger for application to make it easy. These are some really old Daily Flash by October Afternoon heart, or not heart, star dots, like enamel dots, or yeah, I guess they're enamel dots. I also end up grabbing some of those Freckled Fawn stickers that you see there on the left, and there's a whole bunch of little tiny transparent arrows all over it, and you can see those in the close-up. I'm sorry it cut off. I think my battery died. And then I added a couple of my little black punched out die cuts with a view glitter stack paper in black, and I see those little arrows everywhere. I just thought it added that something extra. So that's it. That's the layout, and most of the time I journal on the back, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Ta-ta for now. Bye.